All right, Larry Krueger here from the Pig and a Pickle Krug Show with a little 49er video. Check out Pig and a Pickle, 2 locations, Emeryville and Corte Madera. They're open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. or until they run out. And this video is brought to you by Clawdaddy Arcades. They're a great follow on Instagram at Claw_Daddy_Arcades to find a location near you. All right, 49ers making some news on the off day on Wednesday. They are back on the practice field tomorrow against the Denver Broncos. But today, the Niners worked out 4 defensive tackles, and we're going to tell you about them. And you say, well, why are they working out defensive tackles, Krug? Well, Kevin Givens missed a lot of time last year with a pec injury, and he has a pec injury again. And, you know, when you think about the job description, defensive tackle, and you know, your arms are stretched out. You're trying to corral ball carriers, and they're running by you, and your pec muscle gets stretched, and you're all kinds of hand fighting with offensive linemen. You know, it may be that this pec thing might be a career type situation for Givens. I don't know that. Hopefully he'll be back. Hopefully it's minor, and he just pulled it. But a recurrence of a pec injury for a defensive tackle seems like a really bad injury. So he's out for, you know, the rest of the preseason and probably a good chunk of the regular season. In addition to that, the Niners are banged up on defense. I mean, Evan Anderson's got a knee bruise. Those are kind of tricky. You know, you don't really know. Some guys can come back quickly from a knee bruise, but if it's like a deep bone bruise, that can be a painful thing and it can linger. So you already have Givens down. Now you got Evan Anderson possibly with a knee bruise and possibly going to miss time. Then you got guys like Sam O, you know, who's a defensive end, but he sometimes plays inside on in the NASCAR package on key third downs. He's got a groin injury. You got Nick Bosa, who hasn't practiced for 3 or 4 practices because of a sore side, and you just could see the 49ers need some D-line reinforcements. All right, so they did work out 4 guys today: Shakel Brown, Michael Dwumfour, Siaki, Ika, and Fadarius Payne. So let's talk about those 4 guys. And these are guys, a couple of these guys have been Niners before. Shakel Brown was a 49er. He has been a Niner before, and he went to Troy State. He was an undrafted free agent. Was with the Titans for a while. Elite athlete. I mean, tremendous athlete. You know, just a great athlete across the board. Size, strength, twitchy, real twitchy. 4.82 speed coming out, 4.41 in the short shuttle. Great number. Would have been, I think it led defensive tackles at the combine. 30 reps at 225, so he's really strong in the upper body. 32.5-inch vertical, you know, for a 295-pound defensive tackle. This guy's an athlete, big-time athlete. They've had him before, so, you know, they know what he is. He's a little top-heavy. And I don't think he anchors all that well, but he does move pretty well. And in a kind of a one-gap penetrating, get up the field system, he might be able to help you out in a pinch. I don't think tons of him, but he's definitely a strong athlete. He was an elite athlete at Troy State, which is a tiny little school in the state of Alabama. Then Michael Dwumfour also was a 49er. He was a Niner in 2022. You know, 6'1", 295. He's 27 years of age at this point. He's not the athlete that Shakel Brown is. He's not, but he's a high effort player. I mean, the motor is revving. This guy's going to give you an honest day's work. I mean, you put him in there and he's going to fight and claw and give you everything he's got. I mean, that's what he is. He's a 6'1", 295-pound, now age 27, high effort defensive tackle who's not awesome against the run or the pass, but he's got a motor and he plays really hard. And that's kind of why he keeps getting looks and people keep signing him to the practice squad. Cause you know, guys in their mid-20s who are close to 300 pounds, who play really, really hard and play at maximum effort. You can always kind of find a place in your organization for a guy who plays as hard as Dwumfour plays, but there's limitations. He's limited across the board. He's limited as a rusher. He's limited as a run defender. He's not that great of a player. I mean, I hate to say it, but he's not that great of a player. He's a fringe player, but he's a high motor fringe player. Okay, so that's the first 2 guys. The third guy on the list is Siaki Ika. I think he's the most interesting name on this list. He played at LSU. He played at Baylor. I mean, this guy's a true 2-gapper. I mean, this guy's a monster. 6'3", 335 pounds. Slow. I mean, 5.39 speed coming out. Third round pick by Cleveland in the 2023 draft. And he's played for Cleveland. He's played in Philly. And he's played in Kansas City. Comes from an incredibly athletic family. I mean, he's got a brother who plays D-line at San Jose State. He's also the brother, at least if you read his Wikipedia, he's a brother of Jay Toia, who is in Dallas's camp. He was one of my favorite undrafted free agent defensive tackles. Toia is a monster at UCLA, and I think the Cowboys got a steal. We'll see if he makes the Cowboy roster. But he's Ika is Toyia's brother. So, huge man, 6'3", 335 pounds, as I said, two-gapper, great against the run, not giving you tons as a pass rusher, but he'll clog the middle. If you're looking for somebody who's going to clog the middle and keep bodies off of Nick Martin and Dre Green, or in Fred Warner and D. Winters, Ika definitely can do that. That's what he's best at. And the fourth guy on the list is Payne, who's a 25-year-old defensive tackle. And, this guy blew out his Achilles a few years ago, but he's another great athlete. He played collegiately at Virginia Tech. He also played at Nebraska. He's a great athlete. I mean, he was like 275 pounds. He's now up to 285. He's a one-gapper. He's a quick one-gap penetrator. And in the Niners, one gap penetrating system, I mean, a guy like Payne might be a good fit to replace a guy like Givens, who's also, a one gap penetrator who can get up the field. So I don't think any of these guys are really the answer, to be completely honest. But Payne's interesting. He's quick. He's athletic. Dwumfour is interesting if you just want, to show the CJ West and the Alfred Collins of the world. This is what a veteran on a short-term, no guaranteed contract. This is how hard these guys play in this league. I mean, if you're trying to up the motor of the young guys, maybe you go with Dwumfour because he will be a great example. If you're looking for, an athletic, a super athletic guy that might give you some push, probably Payne. If you're looking for a two-gapper who's going to give you some run stuff, with Evan Anderson out, maybe you go with Ika. If the knee for Anderson's more significant, I definitely go with Ika. Ika is the only guy on this list that can replace Anderson. Shakel Brown, Dwumfour, and Payne theoretically could replace Givens. I don't think, and once again, I don't think these are great names, but that's how in demand defensive linemen really are. In the NFL, that when you get to training camp, there aren't good defensive linemen just sitting around. And if they are, they probably, have a police blotter record that's lengthy, or a drug record. They got something in their past that's preventing teams from going after them if they can really, really play. Otherwise, they'd be on a team by now. Now at the cut down at the end of the preseason, you might find better options. And you'll find some options of young guys that teams are going to try to squeeze through onto their practice squad, and you might be able to pick them off and put them on your active roster if that's the direction you want to go. I would say of these four guys, I would probably sign Ika, the former third-round pick, LSU, Baylor, big two-gapper, but he's not going to give you any pass rush. I mean, he's not a pass rusher. But if you're just looking to clog the middle, and to me, that's where it starts. You got to stop the run. So, if you don't have Evan Anderson, that's going to hurt your ability to stop the run. Now, we don't know how long Anderson's out, but I would be more concerned with replacing Anderson and his ability to stop the run with a guy like Ika than I would be in finding a one-gap penetrating tackle that can replace Givens. I think you'll find all kinds of guys that potentially can give you a one-gap penetrator, shoot the gap and go. It's harder to find that run defender who can really occupy blockers and do the job of Evan Anderson. So that's the defensive tackle quandary. Now, the Niners have a couple other notes today. Mason Pline has signed with the New Orleans Saints. So Pline jumps to the Saints. Isaiah Neyor has signed with the Green Bay Packers. And Trey Avery has signed with the New England Patriots. All interesting moves there. I would say the most interesting one is the Green Bay Packers adding Isaiah Neyor, because, if they fell in love with Neyor, this is a Green Bay team that already has a tremendous receiving core. And, if somehow you could, that could force them to wind up cutting a receiver that the 49ers maybe could pick up themselves. But, you look at Green Bay, just count the receivers. They have Jaden Reed, number one receiver last year. They have Matthew Golden, their first round pick this year. They have Romeo Doubs. Then they took Savion Williams out of TCU in the third round. That's 4. They have Christian Watson. They have Dontavion Wicks. They signed McCole Hardman away from Kansas City. They have Malik Heath. And now they have Isaiah Neyor. So, we'll see if Neyor makes their team. To me, it seems like he is going to be significantly challenged. The other thing that's kind of interesting, they also have Bo Melton, but they've moved Bo Melton from offense to defense. That's kind of interesting as well. We'll see if Bo Melton winds up making the Packers, but the Packers may wind up cutting a pretty decent receiver just because they're creating another roster spot for Isaiah Neyor. So that's interesting. Neyor to the Pack, Pline to the Saints, Trey Avery to the Patriots. As far as tomorrow, just a quick thought on Niners Broncos. What we're looking forward to seeing tomorrow. This is what I'm looking forward to seeing. First of all, the return of some really good guys, right? Dre Greenlaw, Talanoa Hufanga, DJ Jones, Mike McGlinchey, all coming back. All good Niners. Be good to see all those guys. As far as when they get into the drills, man, I want to see CJ West and Sebastian Valdez against Quinn Miners. I'll be looking for that. West and Valdez have been way too much for the Niners' interior offensive line, but Miners is a damn good player, and he's strong as a house. So, he's really strong. He's a big, strong guard. I guess strong as a house doesn't make sense. But anyway, CJ West or Sebastian Valdez, both those guys are playing well. And if they can light up Miners the way they've been lighting up Connor Colby, maybe West and Valdez really are going to be great. I also want to see Upton Stout against Marvin Mims. Mims is electric. He's a fast receiver who makes plays down the field, and Upton Stout is a nickel corner who's also electric. I want to see that matchup. And then to me, this is going to be we've seen Brock Purdy and Mac Jones just pick the young Niners secondary apart. How do they do against Barron and Moss and Surtain? That might be the best corner trio in the sport. It's a big day for Pearsall. It's a big day for the rookie Jordan Watkins. It's a big day for Demarcus Robinson. It's a big day for the Niner wide receivers and the Niner quarterbacks. Can the Niners throw the ball against the trio of Barron, Moss, and Surtain? I think that is going to be worth watching for sure. All right. Thanks to Pig and a Pickle for being the title sponsor of the Krug Show. Thanks to Claw Daddy Arcades for sponsoring this video. Thanks to all of you guys for supporting the Krug Show on YouTube,